Hey everyone, welcome back to pranarise. Today we have something very exciting to talk about, an open source software. This is your host Siddharth for the evening, and I'm going to take you on the journey of open source software and answering a very few questions which is related to open source software. Is it really good as compared to paid software? Is it really that robust that people can switch from a paid software to open source software? And the important question is, should you be using open source software in terms of saving a ton of money that you're paying to this proprietary software? Let's find out in this blog and let's dive in. Now you might wonder, or you might be wondering, what exactly is an open source software and why should you care? Well, stick around because you are going to get into a world of innovation, collaboration, and freedom, which is three words: innovation, collaboration, and freedom. Boom. Why innovation, collaboration, and freedom? Because innovation is it is innovated, it is innovative, it's new, it's fun, and collaboration is about collaborating across the world. Engineers across the world, software engineers, developers, creators are coming together and contributing to the code, which is freely accessible under a particular license pattern, and you can use the code, you can modify the code, you can create, add new features to it for your own organization purpose or for individual purpose. You can always redistribute the copy of that without violating the original license, and you can do many things what you don't see in a proprietary. In a free source software or in an open source software, the word source relate to the code, which is the software code. You see exactly what the code is, in which language it is written, how. But if it is a proprietary software or a paid software, you only get the license to use for that period of time for which you are paying. But here it is lifetime. You use it as long as you are using. Every time an update comes, you just install freely. No headache of it, no hodgepodge. No one is collecting the data from you, no one is putting a telemetry information, nothing else. It's purely your own copy, your own data, your own system, everything yours. So I am a fond believer that open source software should be promoted across the world, and that's what we are going to do in pranarise. We are going to talk about a lot of open source softwares, be it video editing, be it anything. Just follow the language and follow the pattern. Let's move on to the next thing. First thing first, what is open source software? Open source software, as I told you, refers to a piece of software that is with a license that allows you as an individual or a user to view, edit the code, modify the code, redistribute the source code again to your community, whichever you get. You took the copy, you created some new feature, you redistribute it, you make money out of it, does not matter. But the only request is, please do pass back that new feature what you added into the code to the original community, so that the original community also can get benefited of it, and you as a contributor contributed something new. Maybe you have added a few bunch of new wallpapers. Push that request to the original creators to pull that. Once they pull that, they say, okay, it's a new set of screensavers, wallpapers. Add that. See that how do you add a bunch of new wallpapers to open source software. Understand that. Find out that pattern. Use that code. Add those screenshots as those wallpapers, and then see if that code works for you. If that works for you, then absolutely push that request saying, I added a few new wallpapers, and yes, in the next release please push it out. People will also get benefited out of it. So think of it that what features it is giving, what else you can do. If you can find out something, take the help of so much of AI tools and internet and see that how you can modify that, and you can do that. Now, one of the coolest thing about open source software is that it's created by a community, which means an open source software is not protected or guided by a corporation or a company or anything. It's a community. Community means people from across the world who have got passion about the software creation have come together. Somebody created a small piece, and then people started contributing to that code and made it bigger. So community is there to answer. When you have a proprietary software or paid software, you go back to that customer support, or you go back to the documentation what the original manufacturer or the original developer is created. Hereas if you create a new feature, you add a work note to that and say, okay, I created this piece of it on this date, and you give that. So that basically, not only that whatever you are doing, but you are trying to push that request also, that this is what is done, please pull it. So that's a pull request that you can create, and you can add all the information and it can be done. That is one of the coolest things. Now, what else that you can make to make awesome software? Awesome software is like, say you are a content creator, you want a video editing software, but you have to sell tons of money to buy a software which has got all the features. But if you're a first timer, you don't know anything about editing, Microsoft has got a very good example of Clipchamp. But Clipchamp is a free software, but that is licensed under that. It comes with a limited set of features. Okay, when it comes to basic, that is there. Then you go to little upper, then you have got something called NCH Software, which is a Canadian-based Australian-based software company which is giving free applications, and that's very basic, but it's okay just to clip that. But if you want something robust, advanced at a larger scale, that you can do basic editing also and you can do complicated editing. It's like you want a software which is available free of cost and you can do a full movie editing. DaVinci Resolve. Both, one is a DaVinci Resolve and DaVinci Resolve Studio. Studio is about costing. Certain features will not be there, but the free version of DaVinci Resolve, which is broadcasted, which is given free by Blackmagic Designs, has got a ton of features. You won't have even that much amount of patience to do that. And the good thing about DaVinci Resolve is they are doing it. There's a dedicated video on DaVinci Resolve that we are going to do. Please watch that video. For now, let's talk about some of the examples of an open source software. What are the examples? Examples of open source software. If you talk about operating system, you have Linux, which is Debian, Ubuntu, then Pop OS. Then there are two types of operating system in Linux. One is a Debian based, one is a Arch based. We are only talking about Debian based. So you have Ubuntu, Debian by itself. Then we have Ubuntu. Then we have Lubuntu, Xubuntu. Then Pop OS by System 76. Then we have Fedora by Red Hat Corporation, which is a replica of the Red Hat operating system. You can use it free. You can use all the application and you can download directly from the Fedora. There also we are going to do a website and read a website review and FAQ. We have Apache, we have browser. When you talk about browser, we have Firefox as an open source browser, and for mobile we have Firefox Focus. Apache Internet Information System Server, Apache OpenOffice, which is giving you open source of Office document. We have LibreOffice, which is another Word, Excel spreadsheet, Word package Office application that you can use. These are some of the powerful tools which you can utilize. Whether you want a PDF reader, you can read it through the browser through Mozilla Firefox, or you can use something called a free PDF extension which is there. You don't need to save a lot of money. So this tells you that you don't need to sell a ton of money in order to do a very specific thing. Now, what is the easiest way to get started with open source software? It's actually pretty simple. Today I'm going to show you how to install an open source software, but in the next part. This part is going to become too long. I will go to cut into this. This was just an introduction to open source software. In the next open source software installation, what we are going to do is we are going to install OBS Studio inside a Windows Server virtual machine, which is installed inside your VMware. So I will still call that virtual machine, then install. I will show you how easy it is to install these all applications just by one button click in Linux also, and how to use it. It's very easy, very simple. All you need is just a little understanding. But most of the users are more comfortable with Windows, so we will start with the Windows environment. Stay tuned, watch the other part of it. So this was a small brief about the introduction to open source software or the world of open source software. Obviously the video title will not be this, but there will be different. But by going through this different examples and understanding, you had got an understanding of what is an open source software, and you should also give it a try to yourself to see how efficiently it works and how benefit it will be in order to take it further. Now, in the upcoming videos, I will show one by one tool of open source software, explaining what are these softwares and how are we going to install them in a phrase by phrase manner. So that will give you a better understanding of the whole system, and you will be able to work on it, and you will be able to make sure that this works for you. Okay. Thank you very much. This is Siddharth signing off for now. See you again in the next video. Till then, subscribe the channel, press the bell icon, like the video, share the video, and if you have got any queries, you can feel free to write the query through an email. In the description box there is an email. You can directly text on social media. You can also put through comments, and we will answer all the queries. Thank you very much for watching. This is Siddharth signing off for now. I shall be back with yet another video.